What's poppin', y'all? What a saga with this Yes Jules Kanye Ye fiasco. So if you're unfamiliar, Yes Jules was very popular in 2016, maybe 2015, 16, 17, and nobody really knew why. She kind of had this SoundCloud playlist. She was kind of like in this party scene. She was at the time in Miami, like things were bubbling up. She was managing, what's her name, the girl that ended up signing to Def Jam, not Def Jam. Good Music, 070 Shake. She was managing her, then 070 Shake dropped her, and then this tape, explicit tape, dropped of Yes Jules, and she pretty much fell off the entire map. We had no idea what happened to her. Then she surfaces on Ye's team, and she's part of the whole Vultures rollout, which was odd. I was like, how did this lady make it back on the team? Regardless, a bunch of stuff was happening, and in order, the first thing that happened was this like Twitter space. So Jules is doing this Twitter space, and she was pretty much telling them like, hey, who's willing to pay $20 for Vultures 2? And kind of going back and forth. She says this Yeezy app is being built, and then she says there's another thing where there's like a bunch of Yeezy orders that need to be fulfilled. Also, she's talking about like Yeezy fan interactions or having fans involved in more things such as Yeezy app, animations, all this other stuff, and she kind of wants to create this ecosystem pretty much. And then someone, one of the fans, I think, was saying having a subscription service on Yeezy with prices based off of countries, like adjust for currency, right? Like $20 in the US is not $20 in, I don't know, like South Africa. Like kind of adjust it, same way that subscription services do it. And then pretty much like the whole sum up was there was this Yeezy app. She wanted unreleased content on there, like music, behind the scenes stuff, music videos, and then she wanted to gather like this Yeezy army and give them like potential upside with these like Yeezy coins, which aren't real money. And it's not crypto. People were like trying to say it's like some crypto scam. I don't think that's the case. And also like links people can use and different Ye stuff, pretty much. Kind of like create this whole ecosystem and world around Ye, but centralize it, because this world already exists, but it's fragmented. It's separated across Reddits, Twitter pages, IG pages, maybe YouTube, some forums still. And she was kind of just trying to get feedback. So after this happens is when her getting fired happens. And Ye tweeted out, or he posted on his IG story, and he said, "We have decided to no longer have Yes Jules involved in the rollout of Vultures. All the activity on our page and with our fans in the past few days has been unauthorized." And then there was this email sent from Milo to her that was saying, "Enclosed, please find a letter and statement of account from your time with Yeezy. Fines incurred to date as a result of your NDA violations come to $7.7 million while you were a contractor. I suspended enforcement of this debt. It now falls due. Hassan from the compliance team will reach out with information about payment. Please note that any further violations will accrue more fines. Because you are being terminated for cause, but also because you forgot to sign your contract, your termination is effective immediately." And then he says, yeah, Jules, obviously you're fired. People were clowning her. I think people just don't really mess with Jules in general, which I get it. Like there isn't really like a logical reason, but I kind of get it. They just feel like, hey, it's this, what they see as like a quote unquote like white chick. Like how did she even get into hip hop? How did she blow up? Her past is murky to a lot of people, which I do think she made like some smart moves. I don't know about like contributions. I'll give her that, honestly. But people don't know why she's working with Ye. So what happens after that is, instead of just tucking her tail between her legs and moving on, she says, "F and NDA, sue me." She does another Twitter space today where she goes on a tweeting spree. My God. And she says the following. So we're going to read through some of this stuff. So this was before she said F and NDA. So she's retweeting people that are shilling for Yes Jules, and they're like, hey, people are sharing their ideas, and they were communicating with Ye and this and that. One of the retweets that she made was someone was saying, "You're slow, because most of us pages wanted to do this for free to help Ye because we love him. Jules never promised anything to anyone this time around. She was amazing to the Yeezy community and is what we needed. What we don't need is Milo." And then someone says, "I think she's been misunderstood. These same fans were voluntarily running those pages." And then, there's people that are saying, hey, this is unpaid labor. She's trying to take advantage of these people, which I'll give my take on that later. But she retweets this person that was defending her and giving her point of view, which I believe that's her point of view summarized because she's reposting it. Otherwise, she wouldn't reposting it. So she goes up, and then someone says, "The Yes Jules dismissal was wrong. Working with the fan pages was a great idea and becoming powerful. However, a meeting on Spaces was a bad move. Discussing ideas should always be private conversations. The fan pages working directly with Ye or his team should and must continue. And then someone says, oh, that's off-brand for Ye, which I agree. We'll get into that a little bit later after we go through all this stuff. So yes, Jules says, Ye's up against the system. Having the discussion with fans in an open forum setting was unconventional, but it allowed for inclusivity. Completely disagree with this. And open visibility. For an entire fan base to opt in, give feedback, be heard, connect with one another to combine efforts, which is what I feel is needed for Ye to stay on top for those next 2 runs. I was also given specific direction to rally the fans, let them each lead their own chapters, activate within their locations. This was my way of doing so. I'm not a conventional woman, and this is why I worked at the company I worked at in the first place. I never wanted work done for free. I wanted to help the fans present their work to Ye so that he could hire them instead of stale losers who don't know the slightest thing about culture like Ben Priest and Milo. She's coming at Milo. To build his company for him. Anyone who has ever been in contact with me for as little as 5 minutes knows the last thing I'd ever need to steal is an idea. I'd actually pay to have less, as the amount of ideas I have overwhelm me daily. Refer to my February tweets about hiring fans, listen to the space. It's very clear who I am and what I stand for. I don't think it's very clear because a lot of people don't really know what she does. And I think that's her fault because she doesn't make it more known. And then she says, here's what Milo, the chief of staff who controls who gets hired and fired and when they get paid, thinks about the very fan base that fought so hard to get Ye his first #1 in over a decade. And he says, Ye's team, not thrilled to be associated with this. I'm not sure what it's even about. Apparently there was a pretty strong negative response to some Twitter space or something. Let me know if you need anything. Surely the last thing we need is bright ideas from downy mega fans on social media. We're gonna have to, do we censor that? Nah, I don't think we censor that. Half of these obsessive mega fans online have developmental disorders. I'm very much not a fan anyway of the fake sounding, tell us what you think outreach. Feels atrociously off-brand for Ye and needs a rethink. And that's some thread that someone put out. And then she puts out this little clip, which gives a little bit more context. Like Miss Greenface herself. Oh, no. Kanye's post is 100% one of them ones Milo be talking about, though. She a little special. And you want to talk about scammers, because people were saying that Jules made some fan page go to Target to get her undergarments and bring them back, buy her undergarments, and then she wouldn't pay the person when they asked for their money, and I think she blocked them or something. And then, yeah, she's the one charging Ye fans $500 to talk on a podcast that she built off his name. This girl offered to assist me on the ground in LA, so I asked her to do a Target run for me. She called me 10 times in a row demanding I put her on a call with Ye, at midnight, mind you, and so I blocked her, and never saw her the request for the $70, which she received within 48 hours of requesting and going public with claims of my abuse and scamming. I do think this is something a fan page would do. I'm willing to believe Jules on this than a fan page. These fan pages are nutty, so yeah, I don't think Jules was trying to scam this person. And she put out these tweets, or these conversation tweets too. And she says, I've worked with Ye officially since 2018 on a number of things. Wyoming, see, we didn't know this. So Jules is like, yeah, I've done, you could check to see what I've done. We can't check to see what you've done. You have to tell us what you've done. So see, Wyoming rollout, I didn't know that. Orphanage donations and build out in Uganda, I didn't know that. Community big give back initiatives in Chicago, I didn't know that. Yeezy Shades, I didn't even know Yeezy Shades was. Actually, I do remember Yeezy Shades, yes. I didn't know she was a part of that. And have never thrown that around to benefit off, let alone charge an artist for a damn thing, blah, 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 breaking acts and music. I don't know about that. And very well could accept one of the many offers for payment for song promotion. Not one artist can say I have charged them for my platform. Your favorite streamers, bloggers, blah, blah, cannot say the same. Culture vulture narrative is tired. There are real vultures out there sucking the life from creatives every single day. Come on, yes, Jules, you're never going to escape that. It's just the nature of the game. It's kind of like Vlad. They're going to keep getting those comments. I could have exposed this maniac a while ago. This is just her yapping about something else. And then pretty much she goes back to end this after she does another space and says, anywho, I say that all to say none of this BS drama should be the focus. We're witnessing history in the making. We have an opportunity to help one of the most iconic artists of all time. Fight for the equity that creatives should have always had in their art. An opportunity to finally dismantle the label system, not happening, and build a new one where fans and artists are in the driver's seat, reaping the benefits and profits as they should be. That's what Ye being #1 this time around means. That's why rallying the fans is so important. I think Jules kind of wants this to work out because it's her vision. I will say that it doesn't seem like Jules really had negative intentions with this. Someone said that she was a skilled community builder. She is. That is what she initially built out. And that's why many SoundCloud artists mess with her. She had, like I said, she had this playlist kind of really, really early on, SoundCloud era. And she was making a bunch of moves. So, yes, Jules knows how to build communities. I will give her credit on that. That's something that I've seen in real time. And I had to do like some more research because when she first popped up, it's kind of like when people say DJ Khaled does nothing. It's not the same, but you know, it's an individual that you see everywhere and you don't know what they do. And most people say they do nothing because they don't do anything past layer 1 of research. So she's showing them fan stuff, which is really interesting. And I'll give my thoughts on this right now since we had to clearly do a cursory overview. I think Jules was 100% wrong going directly to the fans. I don't think the idea was bad, nor do I think it was a scam. Now, some people will say, man, you know, like kings, generals, this and that. Like, I'm not trying to be a part of this cult. I think the way it was presented, people are going to be like off-put by it, off-rip, especially that all fans are giving their perspective, not the ones that are actually involved with having a lot of Ye fans follow them. So like the pages and stuff like that. I think this would work because, dude, this works in a lot of other places. Like there are a bunch of different communities online, like karma, right? Reddit karma. When someone gives a helpful post, they get Reddit karma. And that's something that it's like a currency on there. Is it a scam? No. It's not real money. And that karma like makes them look a certain way. So if someone has a lot of karma, they're like, hey, this person is very helpful. I think similar thing is in Quora, the question and answer website. Same thing with forums. All these other places have that type of currency. It's not real money, nor is it purported to be real money. So I think, yes, Jules was misrepresented on that point, 100%. And I think the idea is actually pretty great because Ye's fans are fragmented. So having them collected, like say, hey, these are the Argentina fans, these are the Brazil fans, these are the Portuguese fans, and then we have them work to do the global rollout, and then we kind of like can direct them one-to-one from someone with Ye's team, and maybe like Ye can give them some stuff that they can spread out for him. That would be a great idea. But the problem is doing this in person and kind of giving the fans a little bit too much power. So this is where I will agree with Milo. And I think it's disingenuous. And I know what Yes Jules is doing when she's showing Milo, who I know enough about the guy to know how he ended up on Ye's team. But I'm kind of like a little bit surprised to see that he's still on Ye's team. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. However, Yes Jules thinks the same thing about these fans that Milo does. She just decided to show the tweet that Milo showed, or that Milo said, in order to make him look bad, and like she's the one that's supporting the fans, so she can get the support of these fan pages, like, hey, I defend you guys, because look at how she was talking about the girl that called her 10 times, and that's how these Ye pages be. Like, for someone to spend an extended amount of their free time building up and kind of being like this community organizer and doing all this work for free and in perpetuity doing this, they've kind of got to be a little bit off their rocker and obsessed with the individual they're doing it about, which makes it more likely that they're slightly unhinged. Now, this is really effective if you can like manage those types of people, but bringing them close to Ye is not a good idea. And I don't think Milo is wrong when he says these people have like some sort of developmental disorder. And I think Jules agreed, or I know Jules agrees, because she experienced it firsthand with this chick that she was saying tried to tell people she scammed her. So I think that is, I wouldn't say disingenuous from Jules, but I understand. She just got fired. She's like, screw this Milo guy. Time to throw him under the bus. But I don't think she's ever getting on the Yeezy team ever again after she decided to air everything out the day after. And the thing is, Ye is a visionary, right? Like that is the brand that he surrounded himself with. He's the visionary. He leads people. He's like, hey, this is my vision. We're going here. So it's completely off brand for Ye to be like, hey fans, or someone from my team that's representing Yeezy, hey fans, what do you guys think we should do? Or what do you guys think about our ideas? No, it's like, hey, we've got these ideas. Fans, you're coming with us. You're hopping on the Ye boat, and we're gonna steamboat Willie our way to Elysium. You guys ever seen that movie? Really love that movie. Well, really, you can't steamboat your way into Elysium. You kind of need to get into one of those ships that like takes you up, like Star Trek. I thought about the label Star Trek, and I've never even seen an episode of Star Trek, actually. I used to always like see, not the commercial, but like the intro song, and then it would start, and I was like, why the hell would anybody ever watch this? It just never appealed to me. But I'm going on one of my tangents, so we're going to do a little loop-de-loop circle back onto the point, which is, yeah, rallying the fans, I think, and getting fan feedback, and having them incorporated into what Ye's next steps would be is completely off-brand. And she did that unauthorized. And she says, hey, I work differently, but you kind of got to be cognizant about how the guy you're representing looks and how he wants to look before you take like these steps where you haven't notified him or anyone else on the team. And that's where I think Jules was completely wrong. And then now I think it just makes her look bad. Like, she's still trying to support Ye, but she's throwing shots at Milo. But clearly Ye must really, really mess with Milo. So he's going to look at her like, yo, you're throwing the operation under the bus. This is my chief of staff here, regardless of what pretty much everyone thinks about him. I think there's unanimous, outside of the Yeezy circle, there's a unanimous vote. It's like, what the hell is this Milo guy doing here? What value is he offering? We don't know. Now, some people just don't like Milo for the reputation he's had, which is really understandable. It's really understandable. That's not why. Like, someone could have a very bad reputation but be effective at their job. I just don't know what he's effective at. So for me, it's like a head scratcher. I'm like, hey, can I know a little bit more before I make a judgment? So it is a head scratcher. I'm like, why is this guy here? As for the next moves, I do think Jules had the right idea, actually. Like, whatever people will say, like, oh, free labor. Like, dude, people are doing the labor anyway. Like, come on. They want to be a part of something. And Jules was going to give them something to be a part of. Where, like, they were going to be even more incentivized to do work if they just get, like, a heads up on new Yeezy stuff. Like, hey, oh, shoot, we get to unlock this new behind-the-scenes footage because we contributed and got, like, Yeezy coins, right? And I think that's a really cool thing, and I think it would have worked, regardless of what fans are saying, because this model has worked across the entire internet in multiple different communities for people that are way smaller than Ye, not even music artists. We see like people that are like social media influencers that have stuff like this, especially Discord servers, roles on Discord servers. There are certain like upvote systems on Discord servers, and there are certain people that have higher roles than others. Like, let's not act like this is some novel concept. Now, that's not to knock from Yes Jules' idea. I think she had a brilliant idea with this, and it would have worked with Ye if she just didn't ask fans about it, really. There's got to be a clear separation between the leader, and the follower. And yes, Jules was kind of lifting the follower up to like, hey, you can contribute to this leader with your ideas, whereas like, no, this is the leader, or this is how at least Milo was looking at it, and apparently Ye, which is like, no, I'm the leader, and they just follow. The only contribution we see is like their comments or what they put out, and then we figure out where to go from there. So that's pretty much my take on the entire situation. Do I think Yes Jules did anything out of malice, especially in the beginning part? No, I think she had good intentions and she wanted this Yeezy thing to really work out. Now, afterwards, after she got fired, yeah, I think she's salty, especially since she said she's been with Ye since like 2018, the Wyoming stuff. So that means she was probably there before Milo was even part of anything, because I don't think Milo was rolling around with him in 2018. Probably wasn't until, was it? Nah, he might have started rolling around with him when like the Trump stuff was going on, which was around 2018. Yeah, I really don't know when Milo officially came into the picture. But if she was there before Milo and then she sees all this change, I could see her being upset on top of getting fired and embarrassed online. So it's coming to defend herself. I get it, even if she did it out of like bad faith, because hey, it's war at this point. They just like try to ruin her. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.